Colour is one of the most important elements of pack design. Research shows that 52% of consumers first notice colour on pack design before anything else, even things like the logo. The right use of colour on packaging can instantly guide consumers to a brand and convey key product qualities. When used strategically and consistently, colour is an impactful visual shortcut that builds brand recognition. However, the wrong colour choice can have the opposite effect. So this podcast covers the best practices and watch-outs when working with colour in pack design. So firstly, signature colours. Some iconic brands like Tiffany & Co, for example, have a signature colour that they use consistently across packaging, advertising, merchandising and more. This unique colour choice and consistency over time equates the brand with that specific colour in consumers' minds. When choosing a signature colour, brands must be careful to pick a hue that fully captures the essence and messaging of the brand. The colour used in the pack design should align with the broader brand story and tone of voice and personality. So, for example, vibrant, saturated colours tend to convey fun, youthful spirit, while neutral and more earthy tones can communicate calm and wholesomeness. In packaging that lacks imagery, colour does a lot of the heavy lifting alongside the typography and the narrative and the messaging on there. It's especially important in these cases that the colours selected connect back to product qualities like taste and ingredients. Colours associated with appetizing foods or flavours can stimulate cravings and desire. Private label products don't have established brand recognition to fall back on. Poor colour choices on own brand packs can make items seem unappealing, especially when competing against vibrantly coloured brands on shelves. Bland tones that do not work well with products, especially if there's a product window, will lend themselves to a bland experience with the product. Using a colour that expresses a different tone than the brand story or desired product association can also confuse consumers. A serious healthcare brand should avoid fun, playful colours that undermine the trust and credibility. Similarly, dull, lifeless colours for a treat product could fail to stimulate appetite appeal. If the pack looks bland and washed out, then so do the benefits. For example, yellow on white or even white on yellow is never going to give you shelf standout or legibility on pack. It's an issue that pops up often on packs that are lemon or banana flavour, for example. In these instances, you have to be clever with how you utilise colour. You can't rely purely on bright colours alone for shelf standout. Sure, a bright colour will give you a standout fixture, but it's not the only weapon in the arsenal. Once you catch a consumer's attention, you've then got to entice them in and tell them the story. If it was only about bright colours, you'd have premium whiskies in fluorescent greens and pinks, and clearly you don't, and there's a good reason for that. The choice of colour also has to tell a credible and relevant story for the brand. It needs to work as part of the design system, part of the storytelling. Onto the dreaded 4-colour version. Now, we've noticed that a few clients are moving to CMYK now for cost-saving reasons. And whilst I understand this may seem a more cost-effective strategy, and I understand that part, it can also come with a few pitfalls. Some colours are incredibly tricky to hit using CMYK printing, such as bright oranges and greens, for example. Whilst printing capabilities have gotten much better over recent years, it's important to bear this in mind before making the switch, especially if your brand colour relies on them. Printing on different substrates and utilising different finishing varnishes can also have an impact on the end colour. Different substrates will take up different colours very, very differently, so even though you may have chosen the same Pantone colour on a flexible pouch, this could look very different on its carton board equivalent. So, in conclusion, the strategic use of colour in pack design visually primes consumer perceptions. It guides purchasing behaviour and builds familiarity and loyalty for brands over time. By keeping best practices around signature colours, brands can leverage the power of colour on packaging for maximum impact. that's it. That's a wrap, as they say. I hope you found it informative. If it adds value, then please do subscribe. I'm Al, owner and creative director of Slice Design. You can follow me on my LinkedIn page, which is linkedin.com/in/Alan Gilbody, or you can follow us on our company website, which is slicedesign.co.uk. So until next time, have a fantastic week and keep well.